2nd of January, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos.
Oh, never mind. Debbie says she's going over to you, so she'll drop it off at some point.
Oh, okay, great.
So,
Morning, Rabbi.
Good morning. Good morning, Lou. Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Barry.
Morning,
everyone.
Shavua
Boker
Tov.
Tov.
As Hashem. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, this is Rabbi First here. You see some Manafti here in Zoom in Shalayim. We're moving forward in the Avos. Okay. I just sent that on email. If you want to check your emails, should be a new document attached to a recent email that was sent out the last couple of minutes. And we're going to continue on with Avos. So
We're in
you can
Avos.
look- I'll put it
I
on
can.
the screen. Yeah.
I can get to my Pirkei Avos. Which parak are we in?
We're in the third parak.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my safe.
Sure, very good, perfect. And I'm gonna put it on the screen also. Let me just get things moving here. Let's see here.
Oh, okay, that's better. Okay, my Pierke.
I trust everyone had a good Shabbos.
I'll be back in a minute also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rabbi First, this is what my book looks like with all the sheets you sent stuffed into it. I totally ruined the binding. Okay, you said third parak.
That's right, third parak. It should be in this listing that I copied. It was I think the 13th Mishnah, but they vary.
Yeah. So how does it start?
It's Amar Rabbi Akiva. That Kaif V'Kalas Rosh.
This is,
Kaif V'Kalas Rosh.
Got it. Yeah, it's 13 in mine also.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's convenient. Okay, good.
Sweetie, there's a little blue spiral notebook. Okay, is that the size you can say? If that's the size you want, we can get any store around here. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to put it on the screen in a moment as well. Just opening it up, and we'll begin. We'll start. And it's Hashem. Okay.
You say hello to Rabbi First. Wish him a mazel tov. No, he's setting up his screen for that. He's playing something on the screen right now.
He wears filling all the time?
Yeah.
He's too going for me.
He only took that on like a year or two.
Okay. Okay. Let's see, I don't see you all.
We're still here. We see you.
No loss.
Barry, we miss your bright smile.
Okay, I guess we can begin if you like. The only thing is, I'm not seeing you all. I'm not sure what happened. Lost my,
Rabbi Akiva, oh man.
Your subscription has expired.
okay,
With that.
right. Okay, we can begin. Ah, there we are. Now we're all together. Fine. Let's see. Lou hasn't come back yet. I guess we look. Let's start. We'll chazer over when we have a chance. Anyone like to begin reading?
I volunteer Barry.
Yeah, Barry. Okay.
I respectfully decline.
But you've been elected.
I have a note.
Right.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Okay.
If
Go ahead.
somebody else is
Again-
jumping up, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I lost your screen share.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Let's see. It should be.
there it is. It's back.
Okay,
It's
it should be
back.
coming up.
Yeah, we're
okay.
back. Okay.
Well,
Do you want to read the Pirkei Avos or from the sheet?
you can whatever. I mean, we can
Okay.
start with
Okay.
with the sheet. Just want to use the mimer.
Okay.
Let's introduce the mimer.
Okay, Rabbi Akiva Omer, Rabbi Akiva says, Schok v'kalas rosh margilin la'avera. Laughing.
La'erva.
La'erva.
Right.
Okay, schok is laughter, and kalas rosh is lightheadedness,
Yeah.
leads to licentiousness.
Right. So we have we won't spend too much time right now, but I'm gonna try and when I have a little more time later today, we have to try and understand what schok really is and what kalas rosh is. Schok could be like jesting, and kalas rosh is levity. Is there a difference between the two? I guess there must be a difference, right? If Rabbi is saying
Right.
there must be a difference between the two.
Kalish
So,
Rosh is silliness, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like kalas rosh is like it's laxity. It's a frivolousness, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And skok, I mean, is an element of frivolousness in skok, but that is as laughter is. We'll try and get our definitions more clearly defined as we go on through this during the rest of the week. But we'll come back to that point.
Okay, so continuing.
Yeah.
Masoras, I guess, is tradition. Siog the Torah, that protects the Torah, is a fence for the Torah. Ma'asros, Siog Osher, giving Meiser is a protection for your wealth.
Right.
Okay. Nidorim, Siog Leprecious, making Nidorim carefully, I assume they're talking about, is a protection from, how's he tied precious?
Well, that's like abstinence, maybe abstinence.
Okay. And then siag l'chachma shtika, and silence is a protection for wisdom. We all know that well.
All right. Okay. Very good. Now, so on your document, I quoted first of all the parish of Rabbeinu Yonah. The parish of Rabbeinu Yonah.
Okay. Rabbi Akiva Omar Schok v'kalas rosh margilin la'erva. Okay, Rotzalom, we want to say Shaschok v'divrei sicha batla im kala Bodlim Kalos Rosh, Margilin Le'erva. About COVID Rosh, V'yira Haim Siagla Arayos. Where he's saying that humbleness and fear, I guess fear of Hashem, or okay, they protect people from getting involved in arayos.
What is
Right.
schok?
Scope would be levity. Levity.
A
Now,
let's. Is that what people in
Well-
Yiddish, they would call someone a let's?
well, Letzonis is something else. That Letzonis is mockery. Letzonis is mockery. So you can have schok, right? You can have schok, which is not mockery. You have a comedian. You have different types of comedians, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
and what makes a comedian a comedian, right? So usually they specialize, unless they're very versatile, they specialize in one type of comedy, meaning they
Yeah.
pick on something and they use that as a fulcrum to create a lightheartedness, and sometimes it can be good. I mean, a person, that's the Gemara. The Gemara, where was the Gemara in Tinus, I think. No, we just learned it recently that there were one of the Tanoim was found Elianavi in the Shuk, and he asked, "Who is there anyone here that's Ben Olam Haba? Anyone in this Shuk that's going to be Zoika to be have a place in Olam Haba?" So eventually, he said these two people, and they looked like very simple people, looked like big tzaddikim. So he went over and asked them what to do. They said, we cheer people up. We go and tell people jokes and they cheer up. Right?
Like a badkin.
Oh, like a badkin, right? Exactly.
A badkin.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so sometimes it can be used as a positive point, and it can achieve something positive. And in this case, I mean, it's not going to be used properly. It can be used for people's detriment. So here, the Rebbeinu Yonah, he mentions he takes a little bit of a look at this. What Rebbeinu Yonah says. Rav Shalom Schoik. Okay, so schok, which is levity. He says now v'divrei stika betela in kalas rosh. Look, look what he did here. He added something, yeah? You see what he did? The Tana, right, Rabbi Akiva, the Tana only said, Skoik v'kalas rosh margilin la erva. Skoik v'kalas rosh. But now Rabbeinu Yonah went and added something. He said, Shaskoik and divrei sicha betela. What's sicha betela? Sicha betela is conversations which don't have any import and any significance to them, right?
Yeah.
But it's not simply divrei sika betela, but it has to be sika betela b'divrei b'kalas rosh. There must be some type of levity involved here, and that's going to be margila person to erva.
What is sicha?
Sika is conversations, speech. Right, sika betela. It's a phrase. It's referring to a certain type of conversation. Sika betela, meaning it's just words that are wasteful words. They're not of no import. They have no importance whatsoever. But it has to be combined with kalas rosh. So Rabbeinu Yonah is adding a certain element to this, which wasn't included in the actual statement of Rabbi Akiva.
Okay. All right. I got it. I got the message. I'll behave better.
Baruch Hashem.
Yeah. Did you look at Rav Hurst? Did Rav Hurst say anything specifically about how he defines scope?
So it's That's with a sin?
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see, just for fun, let's see what he says. Schok. Okay. Hmm. See here. Wow. Yeah, he calls it mocking.
Mocking, really mocking.
Yeah, mocking. Let me just see here. The pasuk that he refers to in Tehillim, and I have it right here. Yoshe b'shamayim, yischok Adoni yil'ag lamo. In other words, Hashem is
It's
looking
not
at
done
all
yet.
of this misbehavior, and Hashem is mocking them.
Right. Right.
Oh,
Right.
it's related to tzachok.
With that's with it. So that's with
With
it.
tzadi, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Coke.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Well, we're gonna go into this more. We'll hold on. We'll discuss a little bit more. Let's next. Now you have the Paris Beniona. Now the closest Yom makes a comment. The next part of the document, the closest Yom makes a comment on the Beniona.
Okay, Tosis Yontov, Mesachos Avos, Pierke Gimel. Schok v'kalos rosh margilin le'erva. The laughter and lightheadedness leads to erva. Perish. Harav Rabbeinu Yonah, the Rebbeinu says, Klomer wants to say about COVID rosh, the hayira husiaga la'arayas, but being humble and fear is a fence, is a protection from getting involved in arayas. Shekol HaMishnah.
Covered rosh, I think maybe would be better translated that covered rosh is like seriousness, right? Seriousness. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Shekol HaMishnah hazos medaberes b'siyagim ad kan. So because the whole mission is talking about various siyagim.
Right, meaning those
So
things
what-
that you're supposed to do to guard yourself against different things.
What is a siag?
So I use
A fence. A fence. Oh, so the Tosis Yonah is basically rephrasing the Mishnah. So it's Rabbi Yonah is rephrasing the Mishnah. So it's all in terms of siyagim as opposed to margil. The first one, Rabbi Kiva says margil lavera. So it leads to
Right.
it, and they're kind of phrasing it the opposite way. So it's all phrased in terms of siyagim. Okay, fine.
Right. See, I mean, based on that, I mean, it's a little bit interesting that Rabbi Akiva chose to put it in the let's say the negative rather than the positive, right? He says,
Correct.
I mean, so why would you think that would be necessary? Meaning, the other cases were brought down in terms of the positive, and here this is brought down in the negative. This is going to bring to something which is undesirable. So I guess you have to have a more clearer warning. It's if you said seriousness, right? Seriousness and yira and respect or awe, that's going to bring be a sayeg l'orayis. So that's not going to impress too many people, right? When they're, but to tell them what's going to get them into trouble, so that's more impressive apparently. Okay, very good.
Okay.
What is the sentence? What is the end of the sentence? Should call HaMishnah Hazos.
If you, Lou,
Yeah,
if you look at the rest of the Mishnah, the other phrases in the Mishnah all phrased in terms of siyugim. A siyug for this, a siyug for that, offense for this, offense for that. The first phrase that Rabbi Akiva used did not use that phrase. So what the Tosfos Yontif is saying, he wants to rephrase the start of the Mishnah so all of the phrases are in terms of siyugim. He's not changing it significantly. He's just making it all, making the vocabulary consistent. He just would make the vocabulary consistent.
okay. And what was the point about the negative versus the positive?
No, it's like this. If you look at the whole Mishnah there, so Rabbi Akiva first said, he said "Skok v'kal sroka margilin la'erva." Then he said "Mesoras or sayig l'Torah," meaning Mesoras is a sayig for Torah, is offense. This is offense for Torah. License sayig is this offense for wealth. Nedarim sayig l'precious. Nedarim are offense for precious, right? And sayig l'chachma, and the offense for wisdom is being quiet, right? So in all the following cases, Rabbi Akiva said this is offense for this, this is offense for this, this is offense for this. But in the first statement, he says this is going to break the fence, right? He's not saying that this is offense for this. He's saying this is going to break the fence. Meaning, if you're going to be involved with chok v'kalos ros, that's going to margila, that's going to break the fence. That's going to cause you to be involved with erva, right?
The
Right.
trespass, right.
Trespass, exactly. That's going to be the trespass. He didn't, in other case, he was telling what the fence is, and here he's telling you what's going to happen for you to trespass. So that was he was pointing out that there was an anomaly in this first statement of Rabbi Akiva.
Ah, I see. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, and it could be like since because of the seriousness, it was preferable to state and express the limud in a negative, right, aspect rather than the positive aspect.
Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Okay. V'hod lo tadan hachi behedja. You're bouncing around. Kamo beinecha.
And he's
Okay, that which
asking,
we. Go ahead.
he's asking the question, meaning what? Meaning why wasn't it mentioned this way specifically? Why didn't it mention it as a sayag, right? And why wasn't it learned specifically that way like the other ones were? Meaning he's trying to answer the question, why didn't Rabbi Akiva use the same format for all of the statements he made? Why was the first one formatted different?
What's the word behedya?
Specifically, right? And that it wasn't learned specifically this way, in the same way, and as the other ones were, right?
Mishum de bechachi ashminin tova.
No.
In this case, we're talking about good.
Well, Ashmini Tov, it's teaching you a lot. It's teaching you a lot more by saying
Teaching
this
a lot. Teaching, right? Teaching a tova. Okay. The schok v'kalos rosh magilin b'hargil tamidi. That laughter and lightheadedness lead to
the hergel tamidi, meaning hergel tamidi is like it's a constant behavior.
Okay.
Bad habit,
Yep.
Right. That's right.
right?
Okay. Definitely.
That's what my parole officer says all the
We must have the same one, Barry.
time. Yeah.
I'm the one that consults with him.
Well, that's
Masha
good.
ain't-
I'm glad, Lou, I'm glad you mentioned that because I need a letter of recommendation. So, or else
I'll tell him that.
no, I need him writing.
Masha'en kain elu tanan hasyog, which is not the case of the ones where we talked about offense. De erva who koved rosh the hayira. Because as far as erva is concerned, it requires seriousness and fear.
Right, like,
To
okay,
understand I'm not sure I understand exactly the wording of this.
right, yeah, it's a little bit difficult. Masha'en kain elu tanan hasayag, but it's different by those other ones that we learned sayag. So in those other cases that were brought, we learned sayag. Why? And so what's the difference, right? That the erva who covered rosh v'yira, meaning what is the sayag? What is the fence for erva? Right? That would be covered rosh v'yira, right? So then we have to continue. If we continue finish the next line.
Lo have mashma mine. El deschok the kalos rosh mevian lidei erva.
Meaning, if you wanted to say that he couldn't format it the same way as you do with the others, because he would say that the sayag le'erva, you can't say sayag le'erva, offense for erva is covered rosh v'yira.
Right.
Because erva is something you have to stay away from anyway. It's like it would be erva is what you it's in the other, see, all the other cases are positive things, right? Meaning that we're dealing with Torah, we're dealing with money, we're dealing with precious, we're dealing with shtika, right? So those are all positive things. Erva is itself a negative, right? So
Right.
so it's not it's difficult to say you want to make a fence for something which is a negative. It says the skokopinas may really they ever that these are the things he's trying to tell you. This in this case, he's telling you what will bring you to what you want to avoid. So it's not offense. Offense is stopping you from getting to where you don't want it, where you're not supposed to get to. But here he's telling you don't even go along this path. Meaning before you even get to the fence, you shouldn't even go along this path. That's what he's trying to teach you. He's mashing me. He says, "Mishum hachiash meaning too." It's telling you something extra. It's teaching you. It's simply, if you just told me that, yeah, okay, covered rosh and yira or a sayeg, the erva, those are protection. They're a protection for erva. Okay, fine. So very good. But he's telling you, don't even get on the path of skok v'kalas rosh. Meaning you won't even approach. Don't even approach close to the fence. So these are more than a fence. These are much more. He's telling you you should not even be involved with these behaviors. Okay, is that clear?
I'm a little bit unclear on the difference. I understood what you just said, but I wasn't clear on why this is different from the other cases.
Right. So again, let me try and rephrase. The other cases he was saying this is a form, this is a sayag, this is a fence for this, this is a fence for this, this is a fence for this. He's making fences. Right? With
Right.
erva, Rabbi Akiva chose to phrase it in a different way and did not use the expression of offense because he wanted to teach you something even more important than having a fence for erva. It's not enough simply to have a fence against erva, right? You shouldn't even, right? You shouldn't even be involved with schok with kalas rosh because that is a path which will lead you to erva. So before you even get to the fence, he wanted to teach you don't even go on the path of getting close to erva.
Right.
So what would be wrong with teaching that you need to be serious and fearful in order to avoid erva?
Right, I mean, there would be nothing essentially wrong with it, but you lose the extra element of not even getting close to it, meaning you have okay, you'll be very serious and be very, in awe and respectful, you'll be very respectful, right? So if you're very serious and very respectful, so that'll be a fence for erva. That won't be enough, right? Because the people who are already involved with Skokri Kalas Rosh, they're beyond that already, right? So it's not enough to tell them that they should get serious, right? The thing is, you shouldn't even get involved with levity and frivolity and jesting. Don't even get involved with this.
You can't control it.
All right.
If you say something in the marketplace, you don't know what effect your words are going to have on the people who hear it. They could repeat it to the wrong person, or else repeat it and make it even worse than what you said.
Mhm.
What are you saying in the marketplace? You're saying words of levity?
Yeah, let's say any
Anything.
social setting, any social setting. If you
Just to make fun, even if you're in the marketplace and the Rav and the Rav passes by, you know, you could get a laugh if you want to make fun of something. So, but it's a disaster. You know, you might get your laugh, but it's a terrible price to pay.
I mean, look.
Right, Roy?
Roy here?
I don't think Roy's here today.
No, Roy, I didn't see him today yet.
He's not here? Oh.
No.
Don't make fun of him.
He's no, Roy and I are tight. We're tight. We're pals. He
So
can say anything to me. I wouldn't be offended.
Right.
So
Rabbi Akiva's
Rabbi,
telling us,
Rabbi,
don't even get on the road. Don't even get on the road. Don't even start.
Don't
any
start.
behavior, which is going
Don't
to
start.
lead you to erva. It's not enough to have the fence, because even if you, it's not, the Arias is too strong. The fence, you can't really make a fence against Arias. You need to not even get on the road. That's the extra lima that Rabbi Akiva is teaching.
What's it called? It's a gezerah. It's like a gezerah.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like, you know, we have gezeros that we don't do certain things just so we won't even come close to the real thing. Right? Isn't that the idea?
That's right. That's right. Right. So a sayag is we'll go into this in more when we get further into the Mishnah. Right. So, but you have to understand that, and it's pointed out that the format of the first statement of Rabbi Akiva is essentially different than the other statements of Rabbi Akiva. Okay, let's go on now. We'll see the Maharal in Prague has an explanation of this here. And
Okay.
and this will
Go ahead.
be helpful in understanding Rabbeinu Yonah and the Tosas Yom Tov as well, I think.
Okay. Schok v'kolish rosh magilin le'erva. Tam devar zeh yedua ki ha'erva hu ba'atzmo tzchok. The reason for this is well known because erva itself, what's tzchok?
Tzchok is going to be, yeah. or like jesting, like it'll be like jesting. Or
Okay. The Erva itself it involves jesting. Kamosha Kane Hakosov Embracious Hevi Lanu Haish Litzchok Banu. Bring the man to have entertain or jest with the children with
well,
his son.
this was a statement the Ashes Potiphar made. This a statement in reference. She was talking to her husband about Yosef after
Mhm.
that she was unsuccessful in tempting Yosef and he ran out. So she was caught in the dilemma. She had to cover for herself somehow because so now she accused Yosef of trying to do things with her. And so she said to her husband, right, you brought this man to jest with that he should make jest with us, perish, right? Yeah.
Mhm. In Perusha, and the explanation is Erva, and they're talking about. So Ashes Potiphar was suggesting to her husband that Yosef is being Mizana with her.
Right. She's a big tzedekis, she's a big tzedekis. She's always sitting there in the corner and then sewing and then spinning wool and everything like this. And you have and she can't have peace and quiet because this Yosef is now in their house and he's got but he was just lying with all her attempts to do the opposite, right? But she was stuck now because now Yosef had run out and she has to defend herself because it was somewhat incriminating to her. So she wanted to throw the responsibility on and the blame on Yosef.
Okay. V'zeh b'kama makomos shenikra, excuse me. Zekama makomos shenikra ha'erva schok kamo hevi lanu ha'ish litzchak beno. Oh, so he seems to be saying that schok with a sin and schok with a tzaddik are pretty much interchangeable.
Yes, like Barry mentioned before, right? Exactly. Yeah. Good.
And Banu means with us?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. V'af ha-tashmish shehu b'kedusha uke perushos nikra tzchok. Kmoshe Amar Hakasov V'yada es Yitzchak Mitzchak es Rivka Ishto.
Right.
And even when the relationships are done correctly, and there's a kedusha associated with them, the word tzchok can also be used to describe them, as the pasuk says about Yitzchak and Rivka.
Right. That was in Elimelech. Avimelech said that he said he saw Yitzchak and he was jesting with his wife Rivka.
Now that's the narrative that uses that word, correct?
What do you
Yes.
What narrative? What are you referring to? Narrative?
I'm saying it's not Avimelech who says the word schok, but it's the Torah. The Torah says he saw him jesting with her.
Yes, that's right.
So
Correct.
it's good in this context.
Yeah, that obviously Yitzchak and Rivka were doing things on the highest level of kedusha and tahara and of righteousness, but that's what the Torah uses as a reference to what they were doing. Exactly.
Rebbe, I learned that what he saw out of the window with Yitzchak and his wife was that they were just being familiar with each other as a husband and wife would. He just knew that was not a brother and sisterly type of conduct they were having.
Yeah.
Because he's not. I mean, some people want to say that they were being intimate together,
right?
But that's ridiculous. How could Yitzchak be intimate out in the open for everybody to see?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a question on the whole portion.
Yeah, it's a big shayla to say that, you know, that they were intimate.
Right, correct. You have to take a look and see what exactly, I mean, how did they, even if they were in, I mean, obviously they were inside, they were not outside, you know?
Well, but how did he see them? If he's looking at his own window, did he have X-ray vision?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer to that. That's a good question. I don't know.
Doesn't it say he saw them through the window?
Yeah, so what, he was a peeping Tom? What was going on here?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be sneaking around the, you know, their tent or whatever.
Yeah.
Besides,
I
even so,
assumed that he was a peeping Tom, but he was investigating. He was the king, and he felt that he needed to know what was going on with his subjects. And Yitzchak was a major figure. He was very successful, so he was a source of a lot of interest.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. I'm not exactly what went on there. I can't tell you because I don't really know. It's something I've never really looked into to know clearly what exactly happened there.
we'll get to that, Parsha.
Yeah, that's Hashem. Yeah.
So we learned from here that this behavior called Yitzchak, jesting, is appropriate with one's wife,
Right. Correct.
but not kalas rosh.
Right. Well, no. I mean, we have to understand erva. So we have to try to understand what Rabbi Kiva is telling us. Is it erva is referring to lasciviousness? I mean, immoral relations, or maybe erva is simply referring to the actual act of cohabitation. I'm not sure. Meaning that it could be applied in. It could be applied in. I mean, I remember. It was sort of an unfortunate. At one point, I was a mishkiach in a koilel for Bali Tshuva. So yeah, I'd have to advise the Bali Tshuva on certain family concerns. So this one Baal Tshuva said that the chasanim, they get hadracha before they go to the chuppah. It should be they have to know the halachas which are relevant to nida and the precious and all the things between a husband and a wife, and also how to simply get along with the wife, the various different things a person has to know get along with wife, and also the various things of having relations with the there's nothing that the Torah doesn't discuss and is not relevant to the Torah. So even the very intimacies between a husband and wife, there's hadracha, there's the way the Torah attitude and the Torah behavior to these things. So he was told by the one who gave him hadracha, his marriage guidance before the wedding, that it's good to say a joke before when things begin, just to lighten up the atmosphere, right? It's good to say a joke. So he picked a certain joke, and I guess it was a pretty good joke, but he made a mistake. He thought he was supposed to say the same joke every time. So we got a certain. I was dealing with the couple for a while there, and so one of the points that his wife made is he always says the same stupid joke every time.
Okay.
Anyway,
Moving on.
yeah, moving on. Okay, we'll have to stop here. Moving on means stop. Reduce our time limit. Let's take a little break, and we'll
Okay.
pick up on Mishnah Torah in the second Chalik. But we'll try and explore some more of these things as we go on. Okay,
Very good.
thank you. Hope to see you all in a few minutes, and
Okay.
take a few minute break here.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, see you soon. Thank you, Lou.